Hey, everybody. So, with lockdown and the coronavirus, I'm trying to do the best I can to get you guys some good information and to put you in touch with people that I trust that might be able to help you through these trying times. I did an interview with a really good friend of mine who's also a referral partner of mine. I've known him for about 5 years. His name is Taylor Alston. And Taylor is an insurance agent specifically dealing in life insurance. It's probably more important than ever now. I mean, in the video you'll see, I was pointing out when I was young, life insurance was the last thing in the world I was thinking about. But right now, I think it's very topical. So don't push stop yet, because I'm going to introduce you to my friend, Taylor Alston. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Today, I've got a super special guest. This guy has been a friend of mine now for going on 5 years. He's a great referral partner to me, and I trust him implicitly. His name is Taylor Alston, and Taylor is a life insurance agent. Say hi, Taylor.
How's it going, everybody?
I expected him to say hi, Taylor. But so Taylor and I were having some really interesting conversations about, life insurance and about the economy and about, what's going on right now with the coronavirus. And it felt like the conversation that we were having was so important that I really wanted to share it with everybody. And one of the hardest things, nowadays, especially, we're all kind of on edge is, who do we trust, right? Like, how do we find the right person that's going to, help me navigate through this? I have the same issues, but fortunately, I have a pretty massive network of referral partners that I lean on. Taylor is one of them. He's helped dozens, if not hundreds, of my clients at this point. I see him on a weekly basis. He's just a super affable, nice guy, family guy. He's got a wife and kids. And he's very knowledgeable about life insurance. So I'm going to let Taylor start talking now, but I want to kind of tell you what led up to this. Taylor and I were talking about, how when I was young, I started selling life insurance after I got out of the Marine Corps, and I failed miserably at it because I was, I was 7 feet tall and bulletproof. I was too young to really wrap my head around the concepts of life insurance. So anytime I went to go talk to a family, I mean, if I didn't really understand the importance of it, how was I supposed to, sell it to anybody? So I didn't last very long, but I can tell you now as a 59-year-old man, I've realized just how important it is. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about, why, even if you're young right now, why life insurance should be a very big part of your financial future, and why right now, especially, you should be thinking about it. So Taylor, why don't you go into a little bit about, why you got into life insurance and why you think it's more important than ever right now?
Yeah, absolutely, Baron. Appreciate all the nice things you had to say about me.
Sure.
Always love compliments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of, kind of going back to your story, right? When you gotten into life insurance, felt like you're 1,000 feet tall, nothing can touch you. I was 25 when I got into the industry as well, and felt similarly. But I think the big difference that between yourself and what my experience was 2 months into the job, my 21-year-old cousin passed away in a car accident.
Wow, sorry about
And then,
that, man.
yeah, no, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing that happened, but definitely we've learned from it. And then several months after that, my aunt passed away as well. And it was just this sudden bang, bang experience where I hadn't ever had death in my life before, short of, family pets or elderly family members. And it was kind of an awakening for me to see, hey, this is real. This is happening to people.
Yeah.
And if you don't plan, there is a financial repercussion on the back end in conjunction with the emotional pain that comes with a loss like that. And early on in my career, I was doing a lot of work actually between, through Orange County, but I was also doing a lot of work in Compton, where the at the time, the existing plan for life insurance, or the equivalent, was to have a car wash, to pay for final expenses, to pay for um, funeral expenses, pay for final expenses, and all that. So it dawned on me that there's an important need for this type of product, and there's a lot of different uses for it. So to me, the most important thing is making sure that families have protection if the worst were to happen, to help them stay on their feet in the worst possible time of their lives.
Sure. Well, I mean, and one of the things Taylor and I were talking about, I mean, this could not be a better example than what we're going through right now with coronavirus, guys. I mean, typically, you know, when you're 30 or 35 or 40, you're like going, oh man, I got time for that. You know, and nothing's good. You know, I'm healthy. I work out every day. I take good care of myself. You know, what's going to happen? I'm probably not going to get cancer. I'm probably not going to get, you know, Alzheimer's anytime soon, or, you know, the likelihood I'm going to get hit by a car is very small. But look how many people, unfortunately, right now are being affected by the coronavirus. We're hearing stories of people that, you know, that are 40 years old, that are 35, 30 years old, that are contracting this horrifying disease, and, you know, they're leaving families behind. So you know, I can't, you know, we don't know. We feel very optimistic about the coronavirus and where we're going to come out of this, but who's to say that something else worse isn't going to happen down the line? I think it's even more important right now that everyone think in these terms. If you're young, you know, how are your parents going to be able to survive if something were to happen to you? If you're young and you have a family, a wife and children, what's going to happen to your family if something were to happen to you? Taylor is absolutely super knowledgeable, and I just find him to be, you know, one of the most honest guys I've ever dealt with. And I encourage all of you guys to, you know, reach out to him for a phone call and, you know, just talk about your situation. Taylor, I would imagine, what are you normally? How many people do you talk to in a day usually? Do you have, is there any particular day that you take appointments more than others?
Yeah, you know, typically beginning of the week is just fielding calls from everything left over from the week before. But
Sure.
Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays are typically my best days. That's usually when I do a lot of my uh, client calls to answer questions and things along those lines. You know, I try to be as flexible as possible, make sure that I'm answering calls or at least clarifying when we can have a longer conversation, particularly on
Sure.
those days.
Well, I can tell you that, I mean, because I live and breathe by the internet and by the phone, usually what I do is I call, then I send a text, and then I email, just to make sure that whoever I'm trying to get a hold of gets my message. And I would encourage you, I'm going to have Taylor's information down here at the bottom of the screen. You know, reach out to him with an email. Don't hesitate to call him. If you have to leave a message, he'll get back to you. Is there anything you'd like in parting to maybe say to everybody, Taylor, that we didn't, you know, that you'd like to give them some food for thought on?
Yeah, just something to bear in mind in light of COVID-19 situation. What's starting to happen, we don't know if this is going to progress more, or if it's going to, you know, the Department of Insurance is going to put the kibosh on it. But right now we're starting to see life insurers putting other screening questions in their application, starting to postpone underwriting if COVID-19, somebody had a diagnosis or thought they had it. Then they're even limiting the window as far as folks who've had pre-existing conditions. Right now, some companies are limiting their ability to bind coverage immediately, so they have to finish underwriting before they're able to actually have coverage in place. So over the past week, we've seen that progressing. So my advice is, if this is something that is on your to-do list, now's the time to get it done. Even if it's just an application, it's free. Think of it as a free health exam. Doesn't affect your credit, that you're not committed to anything financially or anything along those lines. But if it's something that's on your to-do list, now's the time to talk to a life insurance professional and get the ball rolling on that.
There you go. Great words of wisdom. And folks, like I said, I know this is a time where everybody's kind of on edge. What I don't want any of you to do is to do anything irrationally. the best way for you to arm yourself with the realities that life is to have good information. Use Taylor as your source of info. He's not the type of guy who twists your arm or tries to throw any kind of fancy sales tactic on you. His goal is to educate you. In fact, he's going to educate you so much that you'll probably know more than anybody else about life insurance when you're done with him. So call him, text him, email him. I'm going to put all that info down there. Taylor, thanks so much for joining us. And I can't wait to see you again in person, brother. You know what's weird? I was just thinking about, you guys, anybody who knows me knows I'm a hugger. And I don't know what that's going to be like, man. Not being able to give people a hug, so I don't know.
Just walk around in your full PPE gown. Just shade it out every hug.
We have to do that, we have to bow at each other or something now. I don't know. I haven't thought that far into it, but thanks you guys for joining us, and please don't hesitate to reach out to Taylor.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Barry. Looking forward to seeing you again too soon, bud.
You too, brother.